My name's Anthony Paulin.
And you're with?
The Paulin, Slate and Copper Company.
And that's your brother over there, Chris Paulin.
Yep. We're going to be putting copper on this, and it's going to be a double lock standing seam. So we'll make the pans, and then you'll have the seams come up vertically, and then it gets folded over twice, so that's what the double lock is.
Okay, and then you got a shrinker stretcher to bend
Yep. And that's over there on our homemade stand.
over here. Okay. You're making another
Yep, making another panel here.
panel.
So I just put the brake in, that'll clamp over the drip edge.
No, if you have a valley. You don't want to curve it as much at the top because that curve is flattened out. So I'm just going to have to give it a couple of light ones. Now I'll turn around and do the other seam. A lot of this stuff is just experience.
So you're stretching it now.
I'm shrinking it.
You're shrinking.
Yeah. I only need to shrink because when we put this thing up there, I need to make these top shorter and the bottom longer. So the right side, I've still got about an inch. I can slide my finger underneath there. The left side needs to go more yet. So we'll just do the same thing. So this will be a true double lock system when we're done. Seamless. We'll have to solder a few spots on the top where the cap comes over. And it doesn't really take much once you get close. You can see there that when I had it up there originally, it was about 5 inches off the wood, and we went from 5 inches to 1 inch pretty quickly. If you overdo your shrinking and make it too curved, then you have to get out your stretcher and do the same thing and do what you just did. So usually we just try and put it up there a little more often so we can get it right the first time. Got both sides relatively curved the same. You'll notice this is curved more now than the other. Let me take this a little bit. Let's try that.
Just about a ½ inch.
Yeah, this side's not too bad. As soon as it gets a clip made, we can seam this.
As practical, how often do you cleat it practically? 24 centers or?
Yeah, roundabout. I mean, you could probably get away with one here. I'm going to put 2 in just to be sure, since Joe's watching. One part of the cleat comes up and clips over the male or the female side, and then the other one clips over the male side. So it grabs both panels at the same time. If you take this apart and take out the jaws and buff them a little bit, not grind on them or anything like that, and then hit them with some type of a lubricating oil, they really work a lot better and easier. You know, these are V-blocks inside here, and it just works a lot better. And then periodically, after I do about 3 or 4 of those panels, if you look in here, you can see there's a lot of little copper shards, and you have to take those out and brush them off, put them back in. You'll find that it doesn't shrink like it should anymore, and then you just take them out and clean them. And doing copper, we should pretty much never wear these out. And make sure if you get one of these, if you're going to buy one, do not buy any Chinese import version because they are just not the same machine. It's all in the jaws, and the American ones are the best. Lancaster is the only one that makes them domestically. So this is the cleat that we use. Looks like that. I'll put one in.
Probably need a couple more.
Yeah. 2 nails go in the cleat. And then the remaining tab gets broken back over the nail heads to keep them from protruding through the standing seam. That gets hammered flat. So that's the cleat on the high side. Once he gets another one, I need to put another one up here. We'll do the same thing. Then the lower one, we'll slide the panel into place and cleat the lower side of the seam. The only solder joints will be here on the other side, and then on the top cap that gets installed. I don't like to install a big meaty cap on top that covers the standing seams. I don't think it looks good aesthetically. So we make a final finish cap of the top counter flashing that will get soldered to the tops of the panels. And nobody sees it unless you happen to have a window right above it. My panels with the seaming tools that I'm using, 1 7/8 on the female side, 1 3/8 on the male side. That's going to be probably different from some of you because the seaming tools are slightly different. But I'm using, made by ESC Machine Products, it's actually a radius standing seam tool. So this will slide very nicely along the panels to seam them over. Really like this for doing radius stuff. We also use the standard Freund tools too. Now, if you look at it from this side, this is the correct reveal up here for the lap on the seam to be folded over. I got a little bit high here, so all I'm going to do is scribe that off and trim it before I seam it over. It's really important to make sure that your gaps are uniform. I'm also going to cut this off plumb. I like to do them that way.
How many pair do you go through a year?
None. I've had those for 10 years and I've
10
never
years.
sharpened them. Don't cut nails with them.
Declines? What did you say the maker was?
Clanks.
Blinks?
KLENKS. Joe, you sell those online, right? At slateroofwarehouse.com. Really highly recommended. I've got left-handed, right-handed. My straight timber snips are clanks, and then they make a straight snip that I always carry with me. There's going to be a counter flashing pan that will come down and sit on top of this and be soldered to it. So I'm going to go ahead and just nail it. But these nails will be covered by the other panel. And make sure that your panels are fully cleated in and nailed in before you start seaming them.
Years later, you never start turning brown. So this is the first seam started, the first lock started. There's the first lock finished, but not pinned down yet. I want to close the whole thing up before I start finally pinning everything down. It will sound dull at first, and then you'll hear a nice ring when it starts to close tight. Hear that ring? That's like fairly clean. So that's the first lock. Side of the iron and start the second lock. That's a lot easier.